Hello and welcome to episode 30 of Let's Talk Tactics. I'm your host, Zach Bro.
Hey, I'm Dan Aboon.
And I'm Luck.
And this week we got the man himself, King Mont, entering the game, coming in. He and all of his premium goodness. I am curious to see what he does to the meta. See, sort of. I don't think I've ever seen him in like class match in like JP videos or anything. So like I'm excited to see what like people do with him. So let's talk all about it. Let's start real quick, just like to go through the flame tongue, just get that kind of out of the way. Let's see. Assault, right?
Yes.
Like, okay, so we're not going magic. I think if you add up the totals of magic, it's so much less overall than like assault or it's insane. Why is there a magic version? I don't understand. But I guess you really want to build it for like Adelard or something, or like Fyraga Blade Delita,
Well, that's the
but
thing.
it's
Like
bad.
somebody was showing, like in like the Discord or whatever, the PvP Discord, like an assault flame tongue was doing more damage on Adelard than Lohengrin, and it was like, what?
Well, 30 fire attack, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
It's a
Just by
lot.
that alone.
Mhm.
So even though, I mean, the assault, it only has like like half of the magic as like the magic type. It's sitting at you're only missing out on 31 magic, but you still get the fire attack, and you can use it for like your physical attackers. So yeah, pretty much assault all the way in my opinion.
And then you guys make it two for other units, or I
I
imagine
just
you can do two because it's a brutal, right?
yeah, it's pretty easy to
I
farm.
I imagine that I'll be farming it like and trying to get the fire crysts for it. Like I'll probably have the recipes to make 3 of them eventually because I
Oh,
didn't I
jeez.
didn't just straight up buy the +5 like I know people have done. It's a pretty good
Fair.
deal. It's only at 2K Visior.
Yeah, honestly, like if you are, it's not paid, right? It's just free fizz.
No, it's free.
So like if you're a free to play player and you want to get this weapon and you don't buy energy pots, like that might just be the way to go, honestly. Like maybe farm it to like stock up on some blissful hearts, but then you have to like break your back sitting there like trying to go into multis and whatever. Like 2K is not bad for a +5, like all the way,
Mhm.
I was
especially with what
surprised.
I've heard from people with the fire crest. So pretty interesting they gave that to people. Normally we get like +5s of old things like Alohengrin or not Nagnarok, that's event specific, but we get
Golden
other
armor.
things. Yeah, golden armor, but to have the like new release, that's pretty interesting. I'm curious to see if that trend continues. Probably not. I think they're just being nice because it's premium Mont. Maybe they're like buttering us up for next week and it's gonna be like winter units or something, and we're just all gonna like flip tables. But um, yeah, so I don't really see a reason. Yeah, I don't see a reason to really build the other versions. I don't. I think we're done with that one, right? We all agree there. Um, then all right, now we'll talk about King Mont. So thoughts? Did everybody pull him? Like, did we all go for him? Did we get him? I wasn't like going to go hard to try to get him. I wasn't gonna like go out of my way, but I was gonna make sure that the 9 step, as usual, was good value, and of course it
Mhm.
was. So like, if I get him on the 9 step, I'll do what I can, but I'm not gonna like dump all my viz to max him or anything. And I got him on that, so that felt pretty good. And then just spring metal's OP, so he's he X'd already, but not fully maxed, but he's up there. Lock, how'd yours go?
Yeah,
Did you have to go past the
same.
9?
I had a similar kind of idea that I was only going to do the 9 step. As I was doing the 9 step, I didn't get him, but I was getting like almost a UR on every step of the pull, just not him.
I
So I
got
was like,
all 3
okay.
premium units.
So I was like, yeah, it feels like a lucky day. So I'm like, after I did it, I'm like, I'm gonna do one pull on his banner, and I got him. So I was like, okay, like, so
Feels like a lucky day,
yeah.
said the live PvP player. We're all about logic, man. Was it? No. Daniel, what about you?
Yeah, I kind of felt similarly as far as like starting the 9 step up, but I was really kind of focused on getting him. So like I was like, yeah, maybe I'll try to go for like a pity pull if I didn't get him. I did get him on like step 6 of the 9 step up, the 9 step step up, but it's so weird. I think maybe I'm just suffering from like limited unit fatigue with these collabs, because like where normally I would be like just like building them, as soon as possible, with the resources that I had available, which is like I had like everything necessary. Like all I needed was like shards, and I could have just like maxed them or whatever. But I've just been like strangely like reticent in terms of um, like maxing him ASAP, and it feels weird, you know, because I was really looking forward to King Mont's, like in terms of like I'm a big story guy, so like um, I was talking about on stream earlier today, like to me, like being able to play the main character
Mhm.
of this huge cast or whatever, and being able to like watch it like him progress and being able to play like the next step up for him story wise is really cool for me. And plus not having Warrior of Light, like I'm definitely due for like a new tank. um so like all of that considered, like I'm still working on him. Like I don't have a max like a lot of people got him to like 115, 120 like straight away. um can we talk a little bit about the spring medals, like just how easy
Yes,
it's
that's
been?
where I was
Just like
going. It's nuts.
um like I had
Like,
the chance to, and like maybe it's because of getting the shards, like the weekly login and the purchase bonus and the monthly shards. Like maybe I was just like, this isn't a limited unit. I can sit back and like wait for a week. I think
mhm.
that might have been the final like push.
Yeah, for sure. I mathed out sort of the login shards we're gonna get, the daily purchase, all that kind of stuff. I'm like, I might finish him with spring medals by the end, but like my priority right now is finishing 2B. I don't have her done yet. And then I'll probably do the vision card first, and then I'll go to King Mount, which sounds really dumb because in the past I would never advise someone to do that. Like they're both not limited, and his costs double, and the spring medals go equal value for both. So just mathematically, it doesn't make sense to use the spring medals for the VC when you can do it for him, but you can farm him daily. So if you get him like 115 and then slow burn the like the last 200 for the EX, I could see that being a reasonable path to go if you're trying to figure out where to put your spring medals, because those 200 spring medals that you're saving from putting him 115 120 maxes the vision card. And I think having the vision card maxed out for him is probably a more significant power bump than those last 5 levels. I actually, what does his EX 25 skill do? I forget.
It gives him 40
Oh
CT.
my.
It's a really nice skill. Yeah.
Oh, that gives 15 defense and 40 CT. What the fuck
Yeah.
with 2 uses?
Yeah.
Woo! All right, never mind. That's pretty good. I don't know. Like you could
Pretty
probably get away
good.
with not having that for like
A
auto
while. A little
content, but
while. Yeah.
like but manual PvP, that's nuts. Like what? Oh god. All right, so never mind. That's pretty damn good. All right. I haven't like looked at him in super detail yet. But kind of going along that same line, I do think moving forward, unless it's a limited event where like I'm trying to be good and like mainly go for limited units now, because I can just kind of let other stuff flow in. I don't need every new unit in order to figure out like a viable team conflict. Let's just be honest. Luckily, this game isn't one where you just need the new unit or you can't like compete in guild battles or can't compete whatever. It's like okay, yeah, you get a bonus in arena, and that feels bad not to have. And the guild map might favor them, but there's enough units out now that most people have at least one that's gonna fit the map. But that rant aside, I think just pulling on those 9 steps and just like saving up for those each time. And if I get something, I'll develop it as much as realistically possible. If I don't get it, then I'll just wait for later. It's kind of going to be my policy moving forward for non-limited things, I think.
Mhm.
Unless I
Same
really
with me.
want, like for the Earth Scholar, I'm probably gonna do what needs to happen to get her because I love the character, I love the design and stuff. But other than that, like even like Helena, I'm sure anyone who's listened to podcasts long enough knows that not only just life PvP players in general, but like I love the idea of her. I love mages. I love sort of like the VC from her. I love the lore behind like
Yeah, the
we use
story.
the basic Helena.
Mhm.
Like she's just such a badass character we've been waiting for so long. But I'm gonna try to be zen about it. And like if I don't get her on the step up, I'm not gonna like go ham. So
Yeah.
you Locke, you said you're doing kind of a similar
Yeah,
system now.
exactly. Because I also feel like I'm going to be getting a lot of units up to X that I already have, like Frederica, for example, Rain. Like those are all units that I want to get up anyway to 120, and it's going to be hard to work on both of them and also whatever new unit that comes up, right?
Mhm.
So and also like I mean like when I'm doing the 9 step pull up, I'm getting all these like pulls of other units that I already have maxed out, and like it's not like if I get a like a shiny thing that shows that I'm getting a UR and it's not the UR on them, then I get disappointed because I already have it like maxed out. So like I'm like I want to have things that I would look forward to getting. It's like, oh, I finally got the Black Rose Howler, or I got a dupe of her, and I don't have her maxed out. You know, so that's why I decided. Yeah, I mean, like in King Mont, so I didn't spend any Visior on actually getting any of his shards. All the shards that I got are, and I used up all the medals on 2B as well. So all the shards that I got were just from like the logins, and then from the step up, and then just like random places here and there. Like I was not looking forward to spending double cost on any of his shards, so I haven't yet.
I
And I think
wouldn't.
that's going to be the same policy for Black Rose Helena too. Like I think she's going to be very powerful, but I don't really need her, and then it's going to be hard. Like I want to use King Mont, and like what, for only for 2 weeks? No, I want to use him like for a while, right?
Right, right.
So yeah, so for all those reasons, I don't like. I probably will do the 9 step, and then if I do get her, I would still try to do it as much as I can without actually buying her shards.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like the timeline for us is it kind of revolves around class matches. Like if you can manage to use a like the newer banner units for like that month's class match, like yay, but like if not, like oh well, maybe you'll miss it, and like but you'll most likely have them ready for the next month's class match. As I mean, depending on what kind of spender you are, just by being able to have access to like these medals that they keep spoiling global players with, or like the select like unit like shard tickets. um
Dude, I'm sitting on like 3 to 5 select 80 tickets,
Yeah,
like
I still have.
2 or 3 40 tickets. Like I'm like
It's insane. Like I'm
I
like, we're waiting for like
I, s- I
X2
s-
or
we
something.
sound spoiled, but like that is the way it is. Like
Yeah,
when Frederica drops, if I need like 40 more shards, I'll drop a ticket on her to finish her up for her EX, or something like who's another like pet unit of mine. I don't even know, but like
Mish.
well, I was thinking UR because I can only select UR shards for most
Oh
of those
yeah, yeah,
tickets.
yeah.
But yes, Mish, I will. I mean, I'll probably be able to do. Can we get? Oh, we can't get their shards from the Mog shop, can we?
Yeah, I was thinking, how do I get more Zazan
Oh,
shards like quickly? Because
hey,
I
you
just
want
have
to
to
know how I
go
did it?
5 at a
Want
time.
to want to know how I did it?
We all know how you did it.
332 million gil, sir.
I'm
It
not
took
sad
me
that I
like
went to bed that
40 or 45 minutes of pulling on the Gil banner, and I maxed them.
I was like, good night, I'm heading out. Yeah, it's like so for anyone who hasn't heard, we're anticipating at some point. What
This
is
is,
that?
this is all the
Oh,
shards as I pulled them. So
nice.
from everything I was tracking, so, and then I eventually made it a countdown. So this is
Yeah, nice. We're anticipating at some points an update that gives us like a Mind Sphere toggle
Mm,
in the Soul Metal like Mog shop, so that whatever units aren't featured for you to buy at like 5 medals per shard or whatever, like you get 10 for 50, or like 10 for 100 if it's like a double cost unit, or double shard cost unit. I'm expecting you can switch, you can toggle it so that you can buy mind spheres at some cost, for any unit you have that's at like level 99 job 15, I
like
believe.
they're ready to go to EX,
They're
yeah,
ready, yeah,
or
so you can have
NEX.
access to them. And so I'm assuming that it's going to be like that for every rarity, but we'll see. I've only seen in NJP the UR rarity, so hard to tell. But if it's for any unit that you have ready to X, maybe we'll see that for the lower rarities as well.
Like how you said, any unit that's not like featured in the shop. I'm like, you mean any unit that's not Ildira, Kilfei,
Right, God,
Lucia,
it's so
Katone?
annoying how they're
The
recycled
exact same one
month after
every
month,
fucking
man.
month. Like, yeah, it's almost like what, a year and how many months now? A year and 2 months. So like, it's the same since month 4 or 5 or whenever all those units existed. Like, good lord. Yeah,
But
I wish they would change it, but I mean,
at,
we did get the other shops with like Luartha and Katone and those. Like, sure.
at the same time, like because of these crazy like 2K paid Visior for 100 like medals, like that's, I mean, if you do the math, that's like pretty much like 20 Visior a shard. Even it's 20 paid, but
Even the
I'm
free to play ones are not bad though. Like the
yeah,
500 shards for 2K. Sorry,
yeah.
it's pretty good
No, no.
rate.
I'm sitting at like, I only have 6 more units in my roster that aren't at 400 plus mind spheres.
Oh wow, that's
Wow.
not what I was expecting
and
to say.
and they are like 200 plus each. so it's like not far to
That's
go.
nuts. I have
And 16K like soul medals. Like, what is
Oh,
even
wow.
happening right now? We're just getting so much stuff.
so I have 2 more UR units that aren't maxed, and then which are El Sorel, sadly, and the Wartha. And then I have, well, max mean I have all the shards to like go to MLB, not like EX'd, and like
Yeah.
I haven't awakened them all or anything. Because I used to just like, yeah, I'll awaken something here and there and just like get them up so I can level them in the Chocobo Expedition. But now I'm like, shit, I really need these prisms for
Yep.
EX jobs. But and then I think I have 4 MRs that aren't maxed. But other than that, everything's up there. And I just was scrolling through, I'm like, oh my god, what have I
Right?
done?
Yeah.
Like,
And like it's not just that, but
so
like
many.
Kilfei has 826 mind spheres for
That's
me.
nuts. My
Like
Mastery is like probably
the
5 or
dupes,
600,
like
but
everybody has these stories of like the dupes that they keep getting. So
Mastery
yeah,
Englishella
just
here.
crazy. And this is only just because of like those 2K banners for the medals that we've been getting
Yep.
recently, and so, getting like taking advantage of these, using those medals uh, like responsibly. I don't know if that's the right word, but
Responsible.
like re-rolling for units I'm looking for. Just like
Mhm.
kind of account management kind of stuff. I was doing this a little bit on stream earlier today, and I was like, man, I know this is really boring, but this is how I'm managing to be able to pretty much um, upgrade to X like any unit that I want.
Yeah, I
Anyways, that's a little bit
actually.
far afield. Sorry.
Oh no, that's fine. I was gonna bring up something else too, actually, but another thing before that, uh, the rates for like friend medals and arena medals and stuff to get prisms are actually not awful. So I have been using that occasionally when I'm getting low on those to kind of like top off on my EX job materials. So keep that in mind for anybody who hasn't. I mean, I completely forgot they were even in there, and then someone mentioned it in my guild. I was like, oh yeah, and I went in there and got like 500 like fire prisms or something, and I was like, oh, this is great. Or no, it
Really?
was
Yeah, I
wind.
don't know that. I didn't
It
know
was
that.
actually
So
wind because I did Oldo on 2B at the same time. So, although it's not max, but like I was EXing her and getting her to where I could the reasonable place. But yeah, like they're only like what 10 or 20 each or something, or like even less. Like it's not bad at all.
okay, yeah.
And I don't know about you guys, but I have quite the stockpile of like friend medals and arena medals and stuff that I just have not been. I don't have anything to spend them on. So, like,
I
well, I
try
do, but
not
I'm
to do that.
not. But
Like I'm kind of suffering from arena fatigue lately. Like this week, I'm not even bothering getting top 1,000. Like
I
I'm I'm
haven't.
I'm pushing 100,000
I,
medals.
I haven't even played an arena match this week.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like
I'm at rank 50,000.
yeah,
I
like
I
at some
honestly
point,
am
like
not having fun with it anymore. Not the
yeah,
arena anyway. It's like there will be a week at some point where like I've been kind of in the back of my head waiting for a week where it looks like I could make like a top like a really high push, and I want to try to get some of the higher titles. But I really need to wait for a week where I'm like extremely confident in whatever team I make that I'm just gonna win like every match, and then I'm gonna use all. I have so many of the like refresh pots and stuff saved up, and I mean I don't mind for if I'm within title range I'll do some of the viz, but sometimes those numbers that people get to are just absurd. I don't understand how people do
Did
it
you read the
without
post
packing.
that one of the guys that got like top 10, actually two of them made on how they got to top 10?
No, what did he say?
So it's actually like a really interesting process that I never thought
Mhm.
about. He first of all he said you don't actually want to get a huge win streak during the week. During the week, what you're trying to do is you're trying to get to top 100, and then you're trying to beat different players. You're trying to see which teams you will beat, and then the
Mhm.
teams that you won't beat, you will set up a second team to beat them and a third team. So he said he
yeah.
eventually had like 10 teams with names of players that he could beat within like the top 20. And then he said then what he did was he had to make sure he was not number one at any point until the end, because whenever he like if he was number one, whenever he would fight somebody else, he would get less medals than they would, right? So he had to make like a final
Mm.
push on the last day, and I think it cost him like 4,000 Vizier on top of the extra refresh pots that he would use like every day.
I mean, I'd say
So
4K viz for like a one-time like number one title. I'd go for it. Honestly,
Not
it
me.
would hurt a little bit. Like I'd think
No
about it
way,
later
man.
and be like, I really like this title, right?
Yeah,
But
like a year from
that's
now,
brutal.
I would be like looking back on that and be like, yeah, that was a thing, but I'd rather use this title. Like
Hey man, you're talking to the guy who just pulled 300 mil for to max Zazan. So hey
well, I mean, yeah, but that's
now.
like Gil is definitely less valuable than Vizier.
And honestly, though, the other shards I got, That's a lot of shards. If you think about 332 of those gil pulls, like even if there's one UR shard in each of those, that's half a unit for 300 million gil, which used to be a ton, but I mean, I still have
Yeah,
like hundreds of millions from all these gifts and stuff.
yeah,
And there
definitely.
was one week where I felt like I might actually have to start farming again. Then we got another billion. I'm like, dope.
Yeah.
It's just like,
Yeah, that was really unexpected.
like, sweet. I don't have to do this at all.
Dope.
um,
Word.
word, bro. No, but yeah, no, it's been great. So something I was gonna bring up real quick, Locke, you kind of said this and it triggered something in my brain. Like, is it? I don't know if it's sad. I don't know if that's the right word, but like, I'm doing the exact same thing you described, where I'm specifically not maxing a few things, so I still have something to look forward to in my polls. Like getting on all those like shard polls, I either see El Sorel or I reroll again. Like I just want my El Sorel shards, and I like try to see how many I can get. Or like for VCs, I go until I like there's a VC I don't have maxed yet, which I could do with the metals, but I'm just not because I'm trying to be as efficient as possible with like mods and whatever else. But I'm almost like there's a small weird piece of the back of my brain where I'm like, cool, I still have some vision cards to pull in the future. As much as I like having all the tools available to me,
Yeah.
there's that weird like dopamine rush that I want, but I can't because I've wailed so much at this point that like I don't have things to pull anymore. Like it's such like a first world problem like thing to talk about, but like it's funny that you said that because I've been doing the exact same thing, and you've been doing it consciously.
Yeah, I mean, like for me, there are actually quite a few that I haven't maxed URs. I think there's like probably like 6 or 7. Like Skull, I think is in overall like 200 shards in or something. Raldor is probably like 300 now, I think. So I mean, there are quite a few that I haven't maxed like anywhere close to max.
Mhm.
And obviously, whenever I target those like paid banners, I'm looking for their shards. Um, yeah, but it's been a conscious decision for a while.
Yeah, Skull was one. I don't know who remembers this, but like on my stream, I would like scroll through every once in a while and check my units. And Skull was always like LB0, but he had shards. And there was a day where I realized I was like 350 or something. I'm like, you know what? I don't need him right now. I don't have the resources to put in. I'm just gonna wait until I have all 600 and then just max him. And that happened after playing for King Mont. I had all 600.
Oh, no way.
It was 600 out of 40 for his limit break. I'm like, cool, and so I got him all the way up. But
That was me back. God, what was it, like September, October, or something? That was me with Mashari.
mm,
I was like, I'm gonna wait until 600 before I
well,
invest
to be
resources in
fair,
her.
I mean, you just want her TMR, right?
Yeah, yeah. And then I was like, wait, I kind of like Mashari. Um,
Yeah,
Unpopular opinion or whatever, but
I can't wait for her EX. Like,
both of them, Winter
get some
Mashari and Mashari.
accuracy, get her sure hit. Like, she might actually be a sweet
Yeah.
unit. She could beefy too with one of her abilities. But all right, let's get back to King Mont now. Sorry, super aside. Um, Yeah, so I mean, how much have you guys done with him? I've really done is like put him in some skip ticket teams, and I haven't really done a whole lot of farming yet. Honestly, this week since the update, so I don't really have a whole lot to say other than I fought him in Guild Wars and got destroyed because I brought 2 ice units. I didn't realize it was going to be a King Mont. Probably my fault 'cause it's probably on the little scouting report thing, but yeah. What have you guys been seeing from him? Either one.
So I decided that like just looking at his resistances and like things that he has access to, you could specialize him in like certain things. Like for example, I mean he already has 15 AoE resistance, and then you get another 25 from his TMR, and then you can put like 20 from like one of the vision cards, which is like 60, right? Yeah, 60. So you could build him that way, or you could build him like unit resistance, like give him like Odin's card, and then give him the pod 153. So you can build him as like a specialized AoE tank, as a specialized like single target tank, as a specialized slash resist tank, for example. You get it up like 68, 60, it's not 60, like 70, 80% slash resist pretty easily. So I decided I could do any of those things, but I could also like just build him as a generalist tank as well. So that's the build that I'm going for right now. So I got him with the Golem Esper, full resonance with that. He has like a very high HP pool and 15 defense and man eater and other stuff. And then I also went. Yeah, I put the Odin card on him so that he has 15 AoE resist, 20 single target resist, And then I put, what else did I put? I don't remember right now, but it's like a generalist kind of build. So he has like 56 defense that he starts with, and mine is only at 105. So he doesn't have the extra 15 from the other thing. But then with cheer, he gets 15 anyway because I'm running with Titus. So I'm running Titus, King Mont, and 2B. So 2B can also give him an extra 20% slash resist as well. So it's like a journalist build, and he also has 20% missile and pierce. So for some reason, does he have 40% missile resist? Is that what he starts with?
15.
15. So why does mine have
Wait,
40?
so looks like he
25.
has.
The buff is 25, I believe.
Oh yeah,
Oh, the
that's why
buff's
it's
25.
40. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
Nightblade? That buff?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's
It's
25.
really awesome. Not only does he get Ninja, but he gets Nightblade. Those are like
Yeah.
two of the best jobs. Ninja's always been like the really good job, and Nightblade is like one of my favorites recently.
Dream
Yeah,
Within a
that's
Dream makes him like raiding
Yeah,
boss
like
too. Like if he'll be useful
exactly
for that.
yeah.
that plus the agility and stuff.
So that's what I've been running with in like in live PvP, but I've only done a few matches, nothing really too invested yet. I can talk about arena too, but I mean, you like I'm curious to know if you guys have done other stuff with, I mean, like live PvP or have ideas and stuff.
I have also been looking at like his just his like I don't know aptitude as like a area resist tank, unit resist, slash resist. Like those are obviously relevant things, especially with like his vision card, which gives bestowed like 10 more AOE resist. I think that might have been the one you were
Mhm.
thinking of. Um, he's uh, yeah, it's just like his versatility is crazy. Like he's like an upgraded Elserel for me. Like Elserel, like she really fit on like a light team for me because of trying to keep my units alive against like double quicken gunners or something. But like the pierce resistance as well from that double resist buff. But it's I'm still working on like his affinity, his resonance, his equipment proficiencies and stuff. Like he isn't really doing crazy damage yet. I don't have a flame tongue on him yet. Still working on farming that. Like obviously we're 3 days in and stuff. Um, but I am expecting to see some crazy stuff from him. I'm hearing from one of my guildies who like maxed him straight away, and I think just like invested in the flame tongue +5. Like he was talking about being able to solo like my guild's team and like one of our sub leaders like guild battle teams like and still be good to go for like a third attack. So apparently he can get pretty crazy. I'm guessing you build him like slash resist in the current meta with the guild battle map being like slash attack up. Obviously we're gonna see a lot of slash units, so slash resist is gonna be good. He also has that Kotetsu like ability. I think it's Claws of the Lion,
Yep.
Claws of the Young Lion.
Something like
It's
that.
different from Kotetsu because Kotetsu applies the slash resist penetration first, and then does small damage. This one does medium damage and then applies the slash
Oh, it
penetration.
applies after? That's weird.
Yeah. So like if he doesn't hit, like it doesn't apply. Um, but yeah, just just his LB alone, you guys. Like obviously we
Mhm.
knew ahead of time that it was going to be crazy, but seeing it in action is it's like the difference between theory and seeing it on paper versus seeing it in action, and it's
Like
been
the
pretty
animation, you
crazy.
mean? Like just the
Well, I mean,
visuals
no,
or
apparently,
The
so
effect.
it's funny you mentioned that because somebody on stream today said that like you can apparently hear him say something, but only on like normal speed, which nobody runs at. um, so I haven't had the chance to test that or the inclination or the patience or whatever, but obviously I wanted to check that out because I want to see that kind of thing. But no, just the the base 67% like chance to berserk like in an emanation like a splash around you. Berserk is something that we don't really ever see, and suddenly like
Mhm.
now it's going to be seen in a big way. And the fact that he's also a tank that can reach like 10k pretty easily, as well as like he's definitely there's a reason why he is a double shard cost 100 unit, um, and it's kind of like the answer to Gilgamesh almost. We'll see how that goes.
He also has the elemental resistance, which we talked about a lot last week, but
Yeah,
just to touch on that again real
like
quick, like
all of his
doing
buffs are just crazy.
15% across the board. Like there's a cast time, but deal.
Like I'm I'm
Seems
tempted
pretty
to
cool.
run Siren on him more than Ifrit. Like he doesn't really need the extra fire attack from Ifrit. I believe we're expecting to see Phoenix this upcoming week, but I mean Siren, you can just put stack water resistance on her, stack the slash resistance, and then go from there. You know.
Oh, she has water resist on her board?
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean he's a pretty exciting unit. And his passives, he's one of those units that suffers from like having like 4 or 5 good
Too
passives.
many.
So
Yeah.
like the acquired AP is maybe more niche and you won't use that very often, but like Shikuchi having a 4/2 like beef monster running at you like that like seems insane. He has an agility passive and Shadowrunner for agility and luck. He's also got agility on one of his abilities, right? It gives him hate
Yeah.
Yep.
agility, which is nuts. He gets
And it
attack,
stacks 3
accuracy, and
times.
evasion.
I
I
am
know.
trying not to mention it, but he's tied for like the third place fastest Keen Blade user.
Yeah, I had a
Tied
feeling he was
tied
gonna
with
be up there.
tied with Glaciella. It's Stern, Gilgamesh, and then those two.
Which actually brings up another point I was gonna bring up. So I was just gonna comment on his passives. They're all good. Um, I'm hoping that if he does appear a lot in live PvP, maybe he can punish Keenblade a little bit because I don't know if you're gonna eat through him
A ton
in
of
one
AoE
hit.
resistance.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to hit me with a single target thing, you better be able to hit me twice. If you kill both the other people and then you're like out of gas and no defensive buffs or anything, and you're in his face, he might just kill you. So I'm hoping maybe it's a deterrent or something, or the beginning of sort of a turning point for this. I know when like the Earth Scholar's fairly beefy, she probably will still die, but um, I I hope this is
One
a
can hope.
good sign for the future. And then like when Wall comes out, that'll be another one people might use more of. He's slower, but I mean his EX is pretty strong. So
You could
like
say
just more and more beefy,
it might
beefy
be
tanks.
this might be like a turning point almost,
Yeah,
especially with
hopefully.
TMR.
Hopefully.
You want to talk about
It's
TMR?
at least a deterrent, right? Well, I mean, you'd have to be able to use the TMR to get
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
effect out of it, which you can again. So doesn't help against Team Blade, but I do want to touch on the vision card too. But any more thoughts on the unit himself?
I can go through my arena build if you want.
Oh
For my
yeah,
interior crafting with
sure.
him. So before he came out, I was thinking, I'm not sure if I would get him, but if I do, how would I run him? Because there's a lot of Tituses out there, right? So in theory, I was like, if in the arena right now, all 3 units are kind of spaced apart and they kind of run forward and they have like a one-on-one fight. So if I see a King Mont, I would just put a Titus across from him, and Titus would probably kill him. Like maybe it'll take like more than one hit, but that's what I was assuming. So I was like, if I was gonna run King Mont, I would put 2 lightning gunners on each side because, and I like, so I actually, although I was at rank 50,000, I actually found somebody with the level 120 Yuna, Titus, and 115 Auron, and I put King Mont level 105 with the 2 lightning gunners, and they did exactly what I wanted them to. Like he would run up, and I would have like both of them like showering from both sides, like arrows, and killed everybody, right? So I was like, this is probably like one, like this was what I was theory crafting, and I got King Mont so I could try it out, and I was like, so this is probably what I would run, and I'm not sure how many other people would run this, but if they do run it and it becomes a popular build, I was thinking I would use regular Mont to fight that. So I would have regular Mont, and then I would have Kilfei on one side and Yuna on the other side. And both of them, I would not put any like healing buffs on them or in full life. I would only put either nimble movement or re-raise. Nimble movement if they needed to get in range to attack. So I'm hoping that Mont can stand in the center and take arrows from both of them and King Mont and stay alive long enough with hate for them to kill Mont. Sorry, for the 2 mages to kill King Mont, and then they could go on and attack Frederica or something because they won't, like, none of them will die to Frederica or Nibel's arrows because they're like Earth. So that was what I was theorycrafting, and so that team's not ready yet because I got King Mont. I've been working on him, but I plan to test both of them out. And again, I don't actually know how many people will run King Mont with the 2 lightning gunners, or like King Mont Niblu 9S or something, because that's what I was thinking I would run. And my 9S is only 89, so I'm not doing that, but I'm doing the double gunners, and that's been working pretty well. Although, again, very limited test because there's only so few people with like level 120 units at like
Mhm.
50,000 rank, so I can't really test that this week. But Yeah, but like that's what I was thinking, and from the limited tests that I've had and the theory crafting, it seems like it's kind of working.
Yeah, I mean, I like that idea of now. I like doing that and having all these comps together and having that sort of strategy and like being able to switch between. The only thing is that then it cuts into like my CM ideas and all those comps saved up. I'm like, oh, I don't want to forget these. I could write them down, but I wish I had like extra. I wish we could separate arena and like live PvP teams so we could have 10 of each so that we could really do arena stuff like that. Which I guess it doesn't affect most people. It's just like weirdos like me who have like a million CM comps or something, or I'm sure you guys also have multiple live PvP teams, so not much arena space. Like I have my first slot is called arena, and
Yeah,
then the other
same.
9 is everything else. Like,
That's mine as well.
it's like you get this one spot, and I'll give you the top, but the rest of it's for live PvP.
I think that's from like remember how it like defaulted to the first spot?
Hmm.
So like you would need that to be your arena
Yep,
team or
that's
whatever.
exactly why. And then like slot 10, I think is still called Mr. Move 7, and it's just my Zazan with Kane TMR team. um,
Um, so just a couple more thoughts on King Mont. Um, I think it's important to note like his resistances. Like he gets, I believe it's like blinds and stop resistance. I think the stop
50%, yep.
resistance, like the stop immunity, basically is important because like you don't need to have ribbon on like Warrior of Light kind of does to fight against units that can stop you. Stop is like still like a really scary status of this condition to have to worry about. So um, you can it gives you the chance to wear like the elf cloak or something else if you're worried about status resistances or whatever. Just not having to worry about stop is really cool. I think as a tank specifically,
Just use
not to
Ayaka.
mention
I was kidding.
not to mention like a tank that can actually do damage and stuff. And so one other thing that I wanted to know is that he doesn't have um, a guaranteed hit. So like you might need to run him on Ninja if you're worried about evasion, so that you can use like Decider of Fate, buff your accuracy by 60, and for a turn, and hopefully get a hit in. But that's one thing that he might struggle with is accuracy, assuming equal levels and all that.
I appreciate that they gave him like not Utsusemi and all the
Yeah,
other stuff
yeah,
because
yeah.
he's not necessarily going to be a unit that you want to have evasion on. Although it'd be kind of funny because he can generate hate like nobody's business and then just be evasive. I think his stats wise though he has decent agility or luck and dex, doesn't he? Well, I guess dex doesn't matter, but or it does matter for offensive. So I think he might actually be fairly accurate himself. I haven't used him though, so I really can't add much to that. But
But that kind of wraps it up for me, I think.
yeah,
Oh,
so
so
oh,
part of my generalist build with him was that I also took into consideration the status effects as well. So because he has, as you said, inherent stop resist, I also put the different bracer on him for disable resist, and then I have golem on him for confusion resist, which is like the three main status effects we see as well, right? So so yeah, so I mean, I built him as a generalist kind of tank right now, and he also has Ayaka's TMR as well for like the 10, I think it's 10 spirit
mhm.
and agility, and yeah, and that's my build. And flame tongue is his other weapon, is the weapon that I'm using, obviously, and he's doing good so far. But again, I haven't like tested him out against too many people yet, but he survives Titus one hit, which is good, as I
Yeah.
which is what I expected.
And like you said, like if you're pairing him with 2B for like that slash resist buff, it also nullifies immobilize, disable, and berserk.
Mhm.
So like for mirror matches or whatever, you don't have to worry about his LB or disable, and like immobilize. I think is a little underrated. Um, but in terms of like positioning and shutting down like a unit's range and stuff like that. But that's important to know. I really think one of the scariest teams right now that I'm like worried about and at least running into in like guild battle or whatever is King Mont's 2B and Yuna, to be fair, just because of how potent those combinations are.
To be fair. Also, the thing I was going to mention earlier was that he has 10% poison resist, which, while poison from someone like Venera is, basically guaranteed off the LB, poison typically is a 25% base chance before faith, so this subtracts from that, so it's down to a 15. And I don't think you're putting him up to a 97 Faith build, right? So he's going to be on a 50 Faith. And Poison wrecks units with really high health because it's percent max health, so it hits everybody else the same ratio. So I think that's actually a pretty cool little bonus that you have on him as well.
I forgot to mention that. Like, yeah, I did want to bring up the faith issue. Someone asked me that on stream, and I was like, I'm gonna be bringing him to 70. I don't recommend 97. But I would like to see disables hit more often, heals to work better, full life to hit more often.
Oh, he has a disable?
Tank.
Yeah.
Oh, so 97. All right.
Because he's not like, I don't expect him to take too many magic attack hits, so like I still want to kind of try to mitigate that. But so I think for me 70 is kind of a safe midpoint. I don't want to stick him at 50.
Yeah, I haven't decided yet. Mine is at 50 right now, but but I'm thinking, yeah. But like you mentioned that you see him as kind of like an Elturel. I kind of see him as an Agrius, to be honest, because his disable is quite a high range, and then his LB is like Berserk, whereas Agrius's LB is Confusion, and you kind of use them to like you run up with them, like they can take some hits, you get into the enemy's formation, then use the LB, and then like they lost some momentum because they're confused, or in this case Berserk.
So how does Berserk work in live PvP?
You can't control the unit, and they go and auto hit something.
So what's the difference between Berserk and Confuse?
It doesn't break.
Yeah, you can't break them out of a Berserk, and also
Ayaka's TMR doesn't remove Berserk.
Is that a question or is that a comment?
No, it's another thing that like Berserk
okay.
does.
I didn't know if you were. It sounded like you had a question mark. I'm like, I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
I barely remember it fucking removes Confuse, and Daniel yells at me like every class match about it.
Remember?
He's like, you always forget. I'm like, I know.
Yeah, Tidus's like provoke reaction was kind of like an intro kind of to the whole Berserk thing that we never really see. And suddenly like King Mont burst on the scene. He was like, "What's up? 67% base chance Berserk."
You're looking pretty angry over there.
I want to Berserk your whole team and see how that goes. How do you like that?
Can they attack their own teammates?
No.
So they still only attack the opponents. But
that's what mine did. Did you see it ever hitting your own teammates?
I have no idea. I haven't paid attention.
Like I've seen it doing like a smart AI where he goes and attacks the lowest HP opponent, but normal hits only.
Maybe that's the difference, really. I
think Berserk actually increases your attack because he was still hitting for like 1k at like normal hits, which maybe he already was because he has high base. But
I think it does do something to your attack. I don't actually know for sure though.
That makes me think of the Viking reaction, Fighting Spirit, which increases your attack but makes you Berserk. Or is it increase your HP? I think it increases your HP.
I think it increases your HP, yeah. Because I love Seymour because he's like immune to Berserk, so he reacts, gets the health, and just stays clear-headed. Where is... Also, he has 40% Berserk resist, which is a weird value for Seymour. But, yeah, so the reaction is, increase HP and chance to inflict Berserk. So it's not necessarily tied to... I do think it does something to the attack. We're gonna have to figure that out though, because I don't know for sure what the value is, what the number is. Anyway, sorry. Anything else?
No, that's it. I'm done now.
Okay. So his vision card is pretty great. 423 HP, 116 attack, and 4 defense. Defense on a vision card is always nice. It's not like trying to put on a second, like an accessory and an armor or something where it's gonna like you only get a percentage. Like you're gonna get all 4. AoE resist and an attack percent up. They're both 10, so they're like okay values, but the card has so many effects. I'm okay with it not having, all of the crazy high values. But then you get to the bestowed effects for Mont and Mont. 20 defense penetration and okay, it's only 10% health. I thought it was a little higher, but still, that's a lot for being like just giving to a tank. And then the party ability is 25% HP. So it's basically Golem. It is Golem. And then defense debuff resistance is an interesting one. What do we feel about that? Because debuff resistance is weird, right? It's not like debuffs aren't less effective on you. They just have a chance to fail, right?
Instead of
That's how it works.
so with the debuff resist of 20 from this, it would be an 80% chance to land Crush Armor's like defense down or whatever.
And that's has nothing to do with faith too, which is interesting. So it's only like debuff chance is like always 100 on like crush armor and stuff. But yeah, you just subtract this from, and that's why it's like unless you stack it really high, it's really not that great. So, but the stats on the card and the spread of attack percent, defense percent, HP, like all of it add together, and it's bestowed HP plus party HP. So it's like what 35% increase. It's pretty great on him. Now it is fire only for like all of these effects, except for which also brings up like you're equipping this to regular Mont for like the defenseman and stuff, but like let's be honest, like you don't get the rest of it.
That's why I've been shaking my head, like why?
Well, it's like going back
Thanks.
to the anniversary card that's like for Zazan, but like, oh, here, Elsorel and Mont can have some stuff too. Like, can Mont, like, base Mont just hold, like, 3 vision cards instead of, like, equipment? So we can have, like, the anniversary card, this card, Mask of Deceit for some reason. Just, like, he can have all these effects and maybe combine them into a usable vision card for him. But yeah, I mean, it's a great card overall. Would you guys, any other units you could see using this on? Like,
I mean,
delete it, I guess?
yeah, like mono fire teams are kind of struggling in terms of vision card support. So honestly, this like if you don't have any of the limited like collab VCs, like this is like an auto pick, obviously. Um, like the max damage up for the party, the the HP up, obviously. It's a tank vision card, but for a mono fire team, it's like a no brainer. Because you're already looking at like 2 MR vision cards, maybe, to try to fill out a fire team's vision cards.
That was going to be my next, like, where I was trying to lead this to, is if you look at the party effects available for fire vision cards, 3 of them are limited. No,
Exactly.
4 of them are limited for the URs. It's Blades of Grass from
rough.
Tactics, Bringers of Shadow from Final Fantasy 14, Death Machine from Final Fantasy 1, and Keepers of the Crystal from the FFCZ.
It's like why, man?
It's like there's literally Mont's VC, this new one, and Ifrit for UR VCs, and then you have Birth of a New Life, Dancing the Merilith, another limited, the other Mobius card, and then Path to Revenge and Lamia. But
yeah.
like some of these are good. Like Path to Revenge is a decent card for being an MR, and it gives magic resistance, so that's actually I like that card a lot. Like Birth of a New Life. Now that I look at it, we used to love this card, but like 8% HP looks so shit now. Like, that used to be like, oh my god, it's 8% this. It's got 461, which is still a lot of flat HP. And it gives like a mild Odin effect. It's like a 15 single target resist. So that's not bad. And the luck. But it's not incredible. It's not 50% attack on Fenrir and 25 accuracy on Odin and whatever the ice gets, or like the light VC sets or the dark VC sets, or I mean, even lightning hit. Well, no, lightning's pretty shit too.
You're not going to be soloing like
Water's got
raid,
amazing ones,
like raid or trials content with like a mono fire team without more vision cards.
Yeah, and like strike attack for Lamia, sure. Like I got Raldor on the team, I guess, right?
So I mean, Lamia is my first pick for an MR vision card, just for it's like a mini like Crystal Chronicles vision card. It's instead of 35 fire attack, it's 20 fire attack.
Right.
But
and Ice Killer too. So I mean, specific situations
true.
It could be really good. Merilith gets 30% attack, which is like decent.
But you're already using Ifrit though. It's like such a waste. Like, look at these vision cards. Why would you? Yeah.
And yeah, Blades gives crit rate. Like, come on, like, get some other stats or something, like some other resistances or whatever. Like Keepers of the Crystal, fire resistance for fire allies. Stop it. Give us the other things first. Like, come on, like you have this like mono fire card. You're gonna give it fire resist, like, and then like Death Machine's good, and this would kind of play along with King Mont's AoE theme. But then it's crit evasion, which isn't a bad stat. Crit evasion, I think, is undervalued. But it is not my first 5 or 6 picks for vision card party abilities that I'm looking for in a team. Like, it's not. So it's really sad to see the monofire options. But I guess one sort of sunny side to that is that you don't feel bad for not like being pigeonholed into using those 3, and like you get to use whatever else you want. Like if you want to have a monofire team, like just let me like what UR Mont, Raldor and Seymour. Let's just say those 3. That's like a team I want to try. you can use something on Raldor that's like you just put Ifrit on him, which you probably want anyway. Mont's on his, so you got two of the sort of fire things. And Seymour can use his card and get his bonuses. And even though it's a lightning party ability, it's like a UR card for him. And you can use these more selfish cards. I know, Locke, you mentioned before you like that Titus kind of can use his VC and like go into any team.
Yeah.
Whereas like some other specific cards aren't quite that way. I think it was 2B was the one you said you didn't think was as much
Yeah, it's
able to insert because it was so specialized.
exactly. And to be honest, like I kind of feel the same way about King Mont's card. Like I'm not
Mhm.
fully sold on it because I'm like, okay, I mean, HP is great, but then it only applies to fire allies, right? So like I don't know if I'll be running mono fire teams, and if I'm not, like it's hard to put that card on a team with like other elements. Like again with like Titus and his VC, I can put him on like a Thunder team, and I can be like, okay, Titus is his own one-man unit. Like with his VC, he will do like massive amounts of damage. With King Mont, okay, yeah, this card is gonna make him like a lot more beefier. But is that really necessary? Like I already have, like he's already a tank, like a very good tank, even without that VC. And maybe I can just put Golem instead, like a Golem VC to get everybody 25% HP, right? So I'm not fully sold for that reason, just because I'm like I find limited, like very limited niche uses of the card. But again, I mean, maybe it's worth it because we get the card for free and we're getting many of the shards.
I
So
do
maybe
think the
it's
defense
okay.
pen is pretty big. Like the 20% defense penetration is pretty large.
Okay.
I do, and then his AoE resist going up to 25 overall is pretty significant. And then just like the spattering at the attack percent, he gets 35 HP percent if he's equipping it,
Mhm.
which is just gigantic on his base values. And then yeah, the defense debuff specifically it's defense debuff resist. If it was just debuff resist, I'd be a lot more sold. Like I'd be like, all right, cool. You have 1 in 5 times you go to get debuffed, you're gonna get some value out of it. But it has to be specifically like a crush armor or something, which is kind of shit. I guess what the Jack shot also does defense down.
Venera, it's armor cleaver.
Venera, yeah. So it's against some units, it's good. So I think I should disagree a little. I do think this does sort of self-contain King Mont as a like it's perfect for him. It makes him amazing in his role. Then yeah, you could have like Titus over here with his like DPS not getting hit because we have King Mont on the team taking all the hate. Now you've got two standalone units. Then you can have something else. Even Yuna with like Bahamut, like to support them and like revive. Like there you go. There's your 3 ridiculously strong sort of solo element units. But
Right. While we're
I
well,
could see, yeah, nah, I'm gonna stick with it. I think it's good enough.
while we're still on the topic of fire vision cards, can I bring up the Phoenix Esper
No,
and vision card that
I'm
we're
just kidding. You
expecting?
can.
Like
Yeah,
I think we're expecting it for like next Wednesday, possibly.
I would
I
assume
think
so.
that's like another kind of almost self-contained fire vision card for Winter Mastery. I think it gives party like for a fire party, it gives magic resist, dex up, and pierce attack. So I mean, we see a lot of the time that Winter Mastery is used as like a ranger, sub job for barrage or
Hmm.
sharpshoot, but she can still do a lot of damage with like dragon dive and her obviously natural like dragoon stuff. And the bestowed effect is like 15% HP. I mean that's cool. So it kind of it's on top of like like the golem like party effect from King Mont's vision card.
Yeah, no, I think this card looks pretty good. Yeah, I didn't realize it gave 35 Pierce. It's pretty sweet, and it goes for Elda too, right? You could do like Elda,
Yeah,
Mastery, and King Mont or something.
I will.
Yeah, you will. He's like,
The
yeah,
magic resistance is pretty cool. I think that's the one that stands out the most though.
oh, for sure. I mean, it's 20, right? Yeah, it's 20%
Yeah.
magic resist, which is up there with Fenrir. And then it gives 60 flat decks, which is not to be ignored. That's a significant portion as well. Yeah, no, that's pretty sweet. I completely forgot that, because it's an Esper, it has a vision card. I'm sitting here staring at the Esper, like, what's he talking about? Like, oh, yeah, it has a vision
uh,
card.
oh yay, one more fire URVC.
Yeah, right? Yeah, there we go. All right, Gumi, all is forgiven. You gave us another one. No,
I don't
it's
know.
not.
We need like one more like good one, I think.
I mean,
We'll see what
yeah, we can
happens.
talk about the Phoenix Esper real quick, too. I mean, it gives, it's another 15 defense Esper, which is
Yeah, it's crazy.
great.
Okay.
It's another good option. It has
What's
Ice Killer if you want to be like really specialized. You want to hunt those teams down. Strike Resist. Yeah, all right. All right. So we were talking about this before the cast. If anybody knows what a magical creature is. So espers and nether beasts are like the same term. Like those are they apply to the same creatures. There's like Machina, there's Stone Killer, which I think it's like for like rocky units. There's Elemental Killer, Planetoid Killer. What the hell is a magical creature that's not all of those things like combined? Like, is magical creature going to be like not human? Maybe like is it like all of them lumped together? I don't know what it is. So if anybody knows, please let us know in the comments. And if it's obvious, like oh well, duh, remember this thing, then you
Yeah.
got me. But
It's not like one of those like all-crest creatures like the elementals. Those are the fairy type as far as I've seen. Which like I was like, oh, maybe it's like one of those elemental ones, but
I thought they
nope.
were elemental. Those aren't those elementals?
It says they're fairy as far as War of the Visions calc uh, is concerned. So we never see fairy type units, so that's interesting. But yeah, still on the fence, still on the hunt.
Oh,
Um,
somebody on the fence about what?
yeah. For anyone who hasn't like paid attention, isn't in the War Divisions dash calc Discord server. There's an update to that. You can look up quests on World of Dash Calc. So that might help you figuring out like units, like what type they are, that kind of thing. But also just checking quests real fast.
I just
It's a
clicked
good
through all
idea.
of the raids that have existed in Japan, and none of them have that type anywhere.
Yeah. I have to wonder if it's like a translation error or something, because well, not error, but like obviously we'll see like once it
An
comes to
ambiguous
global.
translation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will be curious as well. Anyway, so it has that killer, pretty sizable amount. It has a lot of critical evasion, water resistance, which is nice. You can build that. It gives a little bit of HP, but then it goes into the fire attack 25, which is obviously huge too. So I mean, this on King Mont, just like the 15 defense, 25 fire attack, cool, like deal. And then go into like whatever else you can, like some accuracy or water resistance or whatever you feel is necessary.
Yo,
It's pretty good Esper.
this is like an insane tank Esper. I just noticed like normally we see like maybe like what 15% resistance. This gets 25 water resistance. Like that's like you don't have to use Siren. You just use Phoenix. Plus you get the fire attack if you want, the
How much agility
defense.
does it give?
13.
Okay.
13.
That's,
Okay,
you
so
know,
that's
And that's it. And
alright.
this is 99. So this is like with the all
Yeah,
of the awakenings.
3-star.
And it gives immobilized 25% resist as its like special like resistance on it. The ability is pretty cool too, though. Like if we do get to do evocations more often, it's a
I was gonna
AoE like
mention that.
it's like the size of King Mont's LB.
Okay.
It gives increases HP. It says by 60%. Does that actually a 60% like health bar heal, like max health?
One can assume.
Yeah, what based on what we see so
Interesting.
far, that is what says grants regen for 3 turns. Decreases fire resistance on all enemies, and then increases attack for everybody, and way more attack for fire units, like with most of them. And increases healing power by 10% for all. It says for units, which I assume means your units.
Yeah,
Pretty
crazy.
cool Esper effect. It's one of those ones that for some reason just gets like 3 extra effects on top of everything else that every other Esper has.
It's hard to tell if
Yep.
it's like a guaranteed hit, like a lot of Esper stuff has been, but I think I'll take that in exchange for a 50% fire imperil. Like holy crap!
50% sharpshoot Mashri.
Yeah, right.
Doesn't matter what
Like
my accuracy is.
boom, use that in a raid. Like no questions asked.
Yeah, and like I said, evocation may be a thing. Like, I mean, we're getting the gauge up with the
That'd be cool.
masteries and stuff, so maybe Phoenix, Esper paired on the Earth Scholar teams with King Mont. It's all coming together. But yeah, no, I'm pretty excited. I assume this is coming next week because this was kind of like the thing with King Mont, and like we've had some separate releases at this point where we've seen the trend of like we get one and then the next one comes, or Japan had that and we get them together. But they've generally kept the same things paired together. So
As good as it is, I'm not sure if it's high enough a priority to pull on its banner. I
that's
might
fair.
end up waiting to just like select ticket it.
Or just fall into it. Yeah.
I
Maybe they'll
don't
give
have
us
the
free
Master
polls next week.
So
Because so we got the King Mont's vision card for free, so we didn't have to bother pulling it. I'm kind of waiting on getting the vision card shards for it. think I might end up doing the same for the Phoenix Vision card as well.
Yeah,
Uh,
I don't have the Magicite for it anyway. Like I'm interested in the Esper more than the actual Vision card. So I would want to get it up to like 99, but I just don't have the Magicite because I got it for to 99. So
Oh, so you're not prepped for bomb either, huh?
no. Well, actually, I think Bomb is already
Dang.
like 79 or something.
nice.
Oh, fair. Yeah, so you'd only have to
Yeah.
go from 1 to 99, basically. Yeah, I can't wait for the bomb EX, but dang. Just looking at it. Oh, yeah, it gives a bunch of HP. Super evocation right there. Fire evocation to you. It's got bomb and Phoenix going off.
How that's just fucking appropriate, man. Like if you like any summons in particular, I feel like just there's not really precedent or whatever, but just like in past titles, you know, like it's like fire has always been like a huge um like you if you want to go for damage, you go for fire, right?
Mhm.
Like uh I mean aside from like Bahamut or, you know, Odin and shit, but so that would be cool to see, you know, just like the fire summons like stand out.
Yeah, and I mean, I think do we get a unit that has a scholar job in fire? Like, what's the other unit that comes out with Luell or whatever her name's gonna be? Um, I can't remember actually. It would take. I'd have to comb through a bunch of units. Like I said, I haven't been keeping up as closely with JP stuff recently, so I don't really have it off the top of my head. But
I
if we
mean,
get a fire scholar, that'd be cool. I mean, go with like the whole team or the whole theme rather.
I think the only thing I can think of is like people keep bringing up like Summer Katone. I keep talking about like
Ooh,
when are
yeah.
we gonna get a fire UR healer or slash support? People are like, oh, Summer Katone, and I'm like, well, she can use healing mace for the Curata, but she's not exactly a support. She's like a mage.
Where actually yeah, I forget what her jobs. Oh, I'm on the global version.
She was like one of the first like
Kotodama.
Kododama wielders.
Right.
Yeah.
I just couldn't remember what her sub jobs were. Is it like red? No, not red mage.
Rune Knight and Ninja.
Is that what it was? Okay, so
We'll see if we get her during the summer or something.
yeah, there's no healing in there, like at all.
Right?
Yeah, healing
I
mace
mean,
is like
drain
sure
evocation, like you can't heal anybody else
healing
though.
self, yeah, or like what's the other one? You can do you can give her like Machri TMR. It's like all
Right? Yeah.
right, but with that argument,
Yeah.
anybody's a healer. So I was just scrolling down JP units, and this ice greatsword guy looks dope.
Of course.
Anyway, so I saw ice and then Gargus. Anyway, all right, let's not go down that rabbit hole. Any other thoughts revolving around any of the fire things, whether it be King Mont or the VC, Phoenix, etc.?
Yay, Fire Mastery.
Yeah. Actually, my mastery. Every once in a while, I see a little notification. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Oh yeah, and like I get to level one up. I'm like, sick. It's
I think I'm
actually basically
almost
every
at
new unit
I think I'm almost at 24.
for fire.
Yeah.
I think I must be at 22 then, because my Luartha and a couple of my other ones just aren't high enough to be able to cap out at like 99 to get all those levels. So
I think I'm at like
dang.
16. So
But ice is the one where I have everything maxed, except for Medina. I don't have EX, but the 21 levels wouldn't actually put me into the next tier. So that's my claim to fame, so to speak. It's just my ice box, but. So I think that wraps us up for this week. But next week, we actually know the topic for once ahead of time. So look forward to us talking about the next class match. We have a general idea of what the rules should be. It's been pretty consistent so far that we can pretty much rely on. It's gonna be either a repeat of the last one for some shit reason, or it's gonna be the new one. So we'll definitely talk about that. We're expecting it maybe in the next couple of weeks, depending on if they want to stay on pace or if they want to, jam it down our throat with the new unit. So we'll see what happens. But Daniel, do you have any thoughts, kind of prepping for that topic for next week?
Yeah. So for anyone like I've been getting like a few questions like, hey, what are you thinking about for this next class match? Like what kind of teams? Really what to look out for anyone who isn't already in the know. We're expecting it to be another class match where it's a total unit cost of 220. So you don't have to worry about Esper cost or vision card cost. But keep in mind, like you can only use like a certain combination of, say, like cost 100 units versus like normal cost 80. Like, are you going to bring like two cost 70 units plus the cost 80? That like that kind of thing. So in terms of like what to prepare for, you don't really have to worry about like, oh man, do I rush like bomb resonance for like my main carry or something. You don't have to worry about Esper resonance or anything like that. Just focus on like affinity with your units or something, and maybe work on like if you're going to bring like Phoebe, for instance, like maybe have her ready so that you can bring like King Mont with her or something. Um, Other than that, we're looking at another no CT manipulation class match. That'll be really cool. No, you don't have to worry about double quicken or cheese blade or stuff like that. And we're expecting no raises, no like full lives or re-raise or courage. So that'll be
It's
interesting.
nuts.
Like it's gonna be like all we'll talk about it more next week. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I've been thinking about it a little bit as well, and just from the last class match, where we did not have any kind of like CT manipulation abilities, ranges were huge, right? Because like gunners, double gunners, Nivlu, Frederica was like the thing, and to counter that, you kind of had to like really use like really fast, like high move hasted units or something. Like for example, Victoria with Kane's TMR, or Kiza with like 5 move because she's using Kitone's TMR or something like that. Like really fast units that can get across, and like so the gunners have like one shot to try to kill them, which they won't, and then they're in your face, right? With this class match, I think it's a little different just because the map is a lot smaller. So I expect to see a lot more variety. And I think it's also very interesting because usually when you have a 220 cost limit, we have like Gilgamesh, Phoebe, and then something else, right? And that's like 2 quickeners. And I don't know how often we're going to see Phoebe because she can't use quicken anymore, right? However, I think like
Or full life.
yes, or full life, yeah. So it's I think it's going to be really interesting because she at 120 she actually does a lot of damage. When I was using Garvel, she hit me for like 4k. So I was like stunned. I did not expect to see that kind of damage. But so I mean, she could still be used, maybe. But I think a lot more people might actually be using Zazan because he also hits really hard, and he has like a 6 move steel hard and hits really hard, and a lot of people already prep for Titus. So I don't know, but if
And
you are
20
bringing
costs.
Zazan, sorry, yeah, and 20 costs, so you can bring him with like 2 different like 100 cost units. But again, like I'm still kind of expecting Gunners to be big. Uh, and I think a team that could work is like, for example, Original Mont, Federica, and Nivlo or something. And Original Mont also has Stone Throw, which is an archer, like which is a missile kind of move. So it does benefit from like Frederica's Dream and Aim Fire and like plus
Oh
1
my
crit
god, you
bounce
can
and
aim
stuff.
fire buff on Mont. That's hilarious.
That's the
Oh, that's
that's the
so
boulder
great.
throw. That's the
Wait,
setup
and it gives
for
him
it.
+1 range too, right? Because
Yeah,
it's
it
the
does.
mistletoe. That's awesome. Range 6, he's just skipping rocks. Just
So
oh man.
I think you're gonna see a lot of variety because of that, and I'm really curious to see how it's gonna shape up. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll have all sorts of details next week. I'll have some ideas. I'll actually give it some thought ahead of time. Try to be able to input a little bit on that because I honestly have not given a whole lot of thought yet. There's a couple teams I had like in my brain, like I would like to use these 2 units, and then like what else can I use with them? Like Titus and 9S is one example. Like I really want to use 9S, but I don't know if I'm gonna be able to figure out the team for him. But his vision card synergy with other units is a little strange sometimes. But yeah, wraps us up. Thank you for watching, and I've been Zach Bro.
I've been Nanabu.
And I've been locked.
And we'll see you next time.